believe I'm live.
All right. Hey, hey. And they're getting us from both angles.
That's right. All right. Get this set up. And we will head out there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to trust this wrist thing.
It's shady, especially when you're casting and you see your phone.
Yeah, well, I'd only put it on my offhand, but it's still like you're moving around and, you know.
Yeah.
Seems like you're asking for trouble.
Oh, I got you a present.
Oh, a present.
Yeah. Look at
Nice.
this. You got to have one of these.
Oh, Bass Pro Shop cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to get the fishing license online.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Which was nice. Because I was like figuring out, I was sure I was going to pass a place, but the Bass Pro Shop was online, although I was sure I'd find another place. But then I just went online. It was easy. There we go.
Okay. I got coffee. I got water.
All right. I think I got some water too.
They just put a Buc-ee's in out here.
And Buc-ee's is just a breakfast place?
It's like a giant it's a Texas gas station.
Ah.
But it's like a supermarket gas station.
No audio on mine. Hold on.
It's probably that.
It's a lot fancier than me.
It's like I have a big business meeting.
You dress for your business meeting, I dress for my business meeting, right? You know? Muted again. Huh.
Might need to just unplug the cable. And then I'll take it kind of slow so we don't get crazy winds coming through.
Let me redo this.
I wonder if I have
your phone just fit.
Cable.
Hello, hello. Okay, hello, hello. Hello, hello. How's that looking? Y'all hear anything? No snitching. All right, can you hear anything? Can you hear? Hello, hello. Say muted, no stitching. Nope. All right, I'm gonna bag the microphones. I think it just, do you think this cable would work in a different way?
So that is, you don't have another, so you don't have any cable whatsoever?
No, I left it in the van. I mean, it's in the van. I can run back.
Oh yeah, you just want to run up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll take 2 seconds.
All right.
That's not an issue.
Trav's gonna keep y'all entertained. I'm gonna take off the audio thing completely. I assume the audio is working now, right? Should be working now. Can hear you only buzzing. Oh, they're hearing buzzing. It could be.
There might be a delay because of the IRL stuff.
There's also a chance. One of these two got wet, and then it worked subsequently, but it may be, in fact, fiddle while I go get it, fiddle, because you see how mine, go ahead and say something.
Check.
Yours
you know
is not, yours is not coming through.
Okay,
right?
I can adjust the settings on that. So it's picking up both mics and in one channel instead of 2 separate channels. I don't know if that makes sense, but I could change that.
I don't know if that's the problem, but there may be 2 problems.
Okay.
So you fiddle around with that while I go get the other cable.
Let's do this.
You want me to jump out?
Yeah, you can jump out. Let me get you close. Careful. I'm going to back up a little bit. It might jerk. All right.
Here. Yeah, put this here. And I am leaving my thing so you can debug it, okay?
Yeah, I'll mess with that. Let me get you a little bit.
All right.
Okay. I will mess with yours. Okay. morning, chat. We got two. Dan is streaming as well. So we got that going. And yeah. I gotta fix his stuff. We're out fishing. We're gonna ask the hard-hitting questions. The hardest hitting questions. Every question you've ever wanted to know. Okay, let's see. All right. Receiver game volume. Transmitter settings. Okay. Mono. You know what? I wore a suit. I came for. Oh, fuck. Look at this. Look at this. Uh-oh, don't look at this. Don't look at this. Businessman Trav. Everybody's looking at me like I'm like an absolute asshole. Oh, dude, the rod's almost. I almost thought this was the rod. Okay. All right. So how long before I fall in today? Whoa! Whoa! All right. Okay, we're gonna ask Dan if he can see. Check, check. Oh, you know what? Is this the other one? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Check. Okay. Off-white blazers while fishing. Yeah, I'm glad somebody noticed. I never wear these. I was like, I couldn't think of a more appropriate time. Okay.
Do you think you debugged that?
Yeah, I just, you want the honest to God truth, as much as I'd love to say, like I did some audio wizard stuff.
Yeah, you turned it on,
Yeah, I
turned
just
it off?
turned it, it was turned off.
Oh, yours was turned off.
No, yours was turned.
Mine was turned off.
Yeah, but it should still pick up audio, so.
Yeah, all right.
I'll get that for you. Let me see that cable. Let's see here. Okay, we have. This goes in right there.
All right.
Let's see.
Let's see what chat says. All right. How is it? How is it? How do you do, Mr.? I'm doing well, Peter Hexon, although I don't know if you can hear me. Come on, chat. Preview is still there. Stuck on Be Right Back screen and clips.
Yours is? You're not getting
See if that should be transmitting.
Yeah, you got a decent upload here.
Let's see, let me just hit start again. Start stream. Failed to start stream is already running. So.
The joys of IRL streaming.
Yeah, I know. Can't hear you on yours, but we can't see you. It's on Be Right Back screen. This claims it is streaming. I'm going to stop streaming and then restart. So let's see. Now let's see. If I stop streaming, it shows you. Interesting, huh? The ingest is frozen. Let's see what's happening here. That is working. All right, that is working. I'm going to stop stream. Don't stop the server. Is the ingest working? Ingest currently offline. This says it's transmitting. Let's see this. Let's see.
All right.
Interfaces. Got a few of them running. Let's see. All right, that's there. Seems to be live. It says ingest currently offline.
Good morning. Good, how are you? Bass. What about you? Yeah? Any suggestions for bass? Indian Creek? Good place? Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. You too.
Because I'm not seeing the ingest, but right here, it says it's transmitting, right?
Maybe you stop it and start it? With,
yeah, I'll turn this on and off.
yeah.
I have an idea. What about stopping and starting it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there you go.
Have you tried restarting it? So,
One of these tech pros, you know.
That's it. I imagine if you ever had to do like an interview for Comcast or Xfinity, one of the questions would be, what is the first question that you ask someone when they call in for tech support?
And the answer is, have you tried rebooting your system? Oh, come on, power on.
So one thing I can't get over is how absolutely gorgeous it is out here.
Really is. I have a backup. I can always use my phone and the IRL Pro, which probably will work just as well. I have a hotspot I can connect it to for. All right, now there's that. Offline.
Those are live already. Did it directly connect immediately?
No,
No, offline.
still offline. Maybe it's still booting up. You ready? I'm going to start streaming just in case it's this preview thing. Stream started, good luck. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, good luck. Let's see, let's see. All right.
Okay.
I think we're live. Now, can they hear us?
That's the real question.
We actually have everything working. Okay. I think I am live. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, world. Can you hear me?
All good.
All good.
Yeah!
We have the technology. Here's your.
Oh, yes, let's throw this over
Here's
here
that
for right
thing.
now.
All right. This way they get both views.
They do.
Right? It's kind of perfect.
Put it over there. I'll take it relatively slow so we don't lose anything.
I'm nervous with your camera back there, even though I know it's connected.
It's like a locking mechanism.
Beautiful morning. Beautiful morning.
Actually, I got funny stories about that. Actually, we could cruise. Yeah, you know, we'll cruise there so we can talk to Chad. It's like we just started. Let's do this. Yeah, go for it.
Let's see. What's the name of the park again?
So we are on. This is Lake Douglas.
Lake Douglas. All right, there we go. Lake Douglas.
Yeah. So, are you familiar with the roleplay community at all?
Yeah.
So it is. I think it's one of the best, but also one of the most toxic communities on Twitch. And like I had my girl. I actually started on Mixer. Or no, I started on Twitch 7 years ago. Went to Mixer. And that was like obviously.
But you mostly do role playing.
I do role play. I started doing this. I actually wanted to do this more, but just like there's like a bunch of stuff that happened this year that kind of like prohibited me from doing this. But it was one of the things was I got doxxed, and somebody showed up to my house. But it's like so now it's like I have a separate place now. Now it's like I have an office and somewhere else, but I mean, I'm always open about where I am. It's like,
but so you started out doing. Do you do GTA roleplay or what?
So it was like PUBG and Destiny, and this was like 7 years ago.
I didn't know people did roleplay with Destiny a lot.
Oh no, this was like.
Okay. I was like, I didn't think you can do roleplay.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. So,
I know. I was trying to figure that one out.
So yeah, I ended up. I was working. I was a full-time DJ touring at the time, and I kind of like just dabbled, and then I did music production, and. I ended up stopping. My mom got sick, so I came home. I stopped touring. It was like when that happened, she was like my rock. So it was like that was like my creative, like that sense of creative, like that creative side of me kind of like just shut off. So I was like, I want to come home. I want to be with her. So then I went to Mixer because I was working in the esports industry for a company called it's called MetaThreads.
Okay.
And they did like merch. So it was like Dr. Disrespect, Summit, Pokemon. Valkyrie, like pretty much like a lot of the big streamers, like Lyric, and then I was going to like conventions and stuff, and I linked up with the Mixer people, and they're like, oh, you should start. And then it was the same thing. It was like the whatever, but somebody ended up being like, hey, you're funny, you should do roleplay. So then I did that, and this is like super. I'm just gonna tell the super accelerated version, so we're not here, but I ended up. Like that's when they got Shroud and Ninja and they came over. And at the time, I was top 25 for hours watched on Mixer, but my concurrent was only 300 viewers.
Right.
So then I was like, okay, this is like not it. And that's when I came over to Twitch.
So you came over before they shut down?
I did, which ended up, it was a blessing. It was a blessing for me.
Was it?
You know what I mean? It was literally 2 months before.
Because the only people that made money from them shutting down are the folks that had the big deals.
Yeah.
And then everyone else was flocking over at the same time.
So, well, my partner manager from Mixer ended up coming over to Twitch.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, but I did everything organically on Twitch. Like I didn't start partnered. It was like I went through all the motions of it, and it was like. Yeah, so that was it,
But now, do you mostly do role playing?
Yeah, I mean, a majority of my stuff is role play, and there's a bunch of new servers opening up in the role play realm, and there's like this whole, so there's booms every like couple of years with role play, where it's like the big streamers come back, like the Sodas, the Lyrics, Summits, all of that, but there's got to be something new and fresh, and there's like, we're about to hit that cycle again, but now since we're towards the end of this era, it's like it dies down, which is it's a blessing and a curse as well, because it's like I could go and explore other aspects and play other games or come out and go fishing, which this is like one of my favorite things to do, like going out fishing. I was doing this like once a week. I towed the boat down to Texas, which I think I met you down there at the dinner down there, and it was like, you know, I was taking like partners out down there, and that's like the most fun thing ever. Because the honest to God truth is like, even though I have all this nice stuff, like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So it's like, you know, I'm a dude from Los Angeles who grew up in the music scene and then decided to move to the South and start fishing. So
Now, did you move here? Your mom lived here?
So my mom, all of my family is from Los Angeles. Like, I think I'm 4th or 5th generation Angelino, and it was like my brother ended up moving out of California for work, and I had actually come through here when I was touring, and Knoxville was like, I was like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. And then one day I just decided, I was like, oh, I want to go to a place where I could go to Waffle House and then go.
It's a place where you can go to Waffle House, that's for sure.
So I was like when I was on tour, like playing music, Waffle House is like my favorite thing. So it's not in Los Angeles at all. I know it's just like you go there at 3 a.m.
Yes.
drunk, and a fight's likely to break out. You know, you have like.
I remember Waffle House well from when I was in grad school and undergrad.
So yeah.
That's the South.
So how'd you get started with Twitch?
Well, so I'll go back before Twitch. So I went to Duke undergrad, and then I actually was a theater and computer science major. But then I, did the computer science stuff. Seemed like a good decision. And eventually got my PhD in AI, worked at NASA for a while where I ran their kind of AI stuff, and then went to Google for a while. Then, so I was like YouTube 10 years ago or so. So I did product and engineering there. And then I went to this startup next door for about 4 years, took a year off, and then I started Twitch about 4 years ago.
That's amazing.
So, and I often say, in some ways, it's bringing back together kind of my dual interests when I was in college, because again, I did theater, I sang, I did all sorts of stuff, and Twitch is this synergy of creators with technology. So
yeah, that's a crazy thing. So I was the theater, like you talking about the theater stuff. So I was like in a Discord hanging out with people that I met through the platform, and we were talking about how Twitch is a lot like high school, that there's like these cliques, and you have like the jocks, which are like the COD pros, or like the Valorant pros, and then you have the theater nerds, which are just the RP, it's like, which is like, it's really funny to think about. But yeah, the whole theater thing, and like people's personalities are really cool.
Yeah, I think your comment, I think the statement that Twitch is like high school, that's just called humanity.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, so it's been a ride. It's been really cool. I mean, I'm super grateful. So I came I was by the time I was 23, I was like a homeless heroin addict, like living on the streets of Los Angeles. It's like I'm sober now, but it was like to have the opportunity to like come from that and then be able to do this is like
that, and it was heroin.
It was heroin, fentanyl, Oxycontin, any opiate I could get my hands on. So.
And now, do you talk about how you broke it?
Yeah, that's like all the. I mean, that actually comes up like once a week on my stream.
Yeah.
And I think like so I always like preface the things like before I talk about it. Like anything I talk about, like I never necessarily want to glorify. It's more like I'm not proud of the things I did, but I'm proud of where I come from. And it's like I'll talk about my experiences in the hope that somebody else hears it. They're like, oh my God, I can relate to that. And, I go through these things. So it's like I almost believe that it's like I almost have like this duty now to be like, this is where I come from. This is what I went through. There's hope on the other side. Just, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we're like halfway there now. I know it's kind of cold, but.
Oh, I'm fine. This is perfect.
But yeah, life's crazy,
But what was it that got you? Did
sober?
Somebody? Yeah. Did somebody come in, or did you? What was the thing that started it?
So it was kind of crazy. There was like, so I came from a broken home. There's like a bunch of stuff that like lined up for me. And the reality, like one of the things I realized, hold on, let's get over here. And then we'll cruise. But one of the things I realized, like growing up, it was like I always felt like disconnected. And I didn't know, it's like I didn't understand that I wasn't supposed to be miserable. And there was just like this breaking point. I was like in and out of jail, and it was like the last time, and like I called my mom the last time I got out of jail. And I was like, look, like I just got out of jail, and I hadn't talked to her in like 6 months. And she's like, thank God you called me. And she's like, I knew the next time you called, it would be you were in jail or I'd be getting a call from a coroner.
Right,
and she's like, hey, you got whatever, like do these things. And then like I found a group of dudes who were sober, and they kind of like walked me through. They taught me how to be like a productive member of society, and then I built some self-worth. And from there, it was like the first time in my life where I was like, oh, this is what it's like to enjoy life and to live. And then I kind of just like held on to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had like hiccups along the way. So I ended up relapsing like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know, again, same thing. It was like I hit this point where I was miserable, reached out for help. The same people helped me, and now it's like, but.
I just finished reading, do you know the book Demon Copperhead?
I don't.
It won the Pulitzer Prize this past year by Barbara Kingsolver, and it's about, I don't know if you like to read, but...
I love reading.
Okay, then you'll love it, because it tells a story. It's basically set in kind of Appalachian Virginia and West Virginia and that whole area, right, coal mining country. And it's about this kid that comes from a broken home, eventually was an orphan, eventually got, you know, hooked on Oxy and all that, eventually comes out of it. But it's his journey of like going through the system, not a true story, I mean, it's of going through the system and feeling broken. It's like kind of exactly what you said, right? You know,
right.
Feeling broken, feeling like I don't have the right to be happy, feeling like I don't, you know, deserve this because, you know, he like, you know, when he was 16, he was, you know, on the street, and I'm sorry, 12. He was on the street at 12, and it's really it won the Pulitzer Prize last year. It's a wonderful.
I'll have to read that.
It's a wonderful story.
So, but yeah, it's like anytime, like every time I come out fishing and I'm on the water, like I always think about that and I try to remember where I come from. So it's
I always think about the fact that maybe not one step, but most people are 2 or 3 bad things away from this despair in this world. You know, no matter how solid you get, you can always be 2 things away from this different life. Meaning, I'm saying negatively. In other words, if you think you're doing well, you have to realize how precious that is.
Absolutely.
And how so often the people that aren't living that life, there's just like these things that happen that like led them down that path.
Yeah.
Right? And we all think that, oh, but I would never. And I think it's kind of bullshit.
Yeah. Life is precious. So I went down the other way and we didn't have any service when I came out and tested, but this way, I mean, it looks, I don't know, it's absolutely gorgeous over here. There's this like creek over here we're gonna shoot down and check out.
All right, nice. Greetings, Russ Spain. Hope y'all are doing well there. My chat's, unless Chatson's not working, my chat is quiet, but maybe it's just Chatson. So, let's see. How come the internet is so good there? Good question. Actually, I tell you what, although I don't think this would work for streaming, but you should still do it. You should have joined me yesterday. Have you ever done whitewater kayaking?
I haven't.
The Nantahala was a really good run.
Yeah.
I took 2 friends that had never kayaked before, And hold on, where is that volume? And it's it's fun, but not too hard. But it kind of moves the whole way. It was really fun. They really liked it.
Yeah, just I mean, I've been down like the French Broad on my fishing kayak. That's about the extent of it.
Well, if you go a little more that way, the French Broad has really good whitewater kayaking. This is a great place for it. You should add that to your list of things. It is really fun. I bet you would really enjoy kayaking. But it doesn't work for IRL streaming.
I know, yeah.
Because you're almost always in a gorge or something.
Yeah.
And so, like here, you can get cellular, right? But
right.
I tried it where I live in White Salmon, and they said about 25% of the stream came through, and about only 5% wasn't pixelated.
All right, let's see. Hang on. Let's see here. So I got all this mapping stuff. This has been my new obsession.
That's the thing about fishing. Fishing also can be so high tech.
It's so great. So we have topographic. So these are topographic maps.
Yep.
And like they come through every year and they scan the bottom, and
wow.
they're accurate up to a foot. I mean, the lake levels will rise and drop throughout the year, but still, it's like you offset it. It's like.
So how deep? What depth are you looking for?
So, well, generally bass or like largemouth bass live 30 to a foot, or from a foot down to 30 feet, depending on the season. So right now, we've got this is called downscan, this is downscan, and it's almost like a.
I assume it's 50-foot depth, or is that?
Yeah, that's correct. So this is like Mario Brothers, right? It's like side scrolling, like this is like as it comes through. Then over here, this is side scan. So it's scanning the sides of the boat right now, and you can see 300 feet out on each side, and you see all those kind of like.
Are those fish?
Yeah, so that's all bait fish and stuff.
Oh, I didn't realize this was gonna show you exactly where the fish is.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. I mean, these are fish here, but the thing is, these probably aren't bass. I mean, they could be anything from carp to catfish to.
Now, how would you know they're probably not bass because they're small?
Just the depth on how deep it is. So we're 50 feet here. Generally, like this time of year, the bass move to, and again, this is only, like I've only been fishing for 2 years, but it's like going back to like the drug addict thing. It's like when I do something, it's just like,
obsession.
it's like, that's it. So that being said, it's like.
Are you part ADHD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
common with streamers and common with fish. My son-in-law has ADHD, and he picked up fly fishing like when we moved to White Salmon, and he just like is incredible at it. He just knows it inside and out, and it's just like it's a superpower of his, because when he picks something he loves.
That's it. Yeah, off to the races. But yeah, you can see like the rocks. It's like so it continues down underwater and stuff. But yeah, this time of year they're generally chasing the bait fish, because it's like the late night temperatures just drop, so the water temperature drops, and then the bait fish slowly move back into creeks to search for warmer water. So this is like over here, we're kind of like moving towards, actually, let's get a little bit closer first. This is creek back here. So the bait fish move back there, they'll chase the bait fish and everything.
And anyone on my channel, you should also have Trav's up, because you can see all this from Trav's camera.
Yeah, I think I got you linked up as in mine as well.
Yeah.
So you can get the full experience.
Actually, I think the dual camera is perfect.
Yeah, it's really cool.
For this, because I can imagine them watching it. I'd have them two going right there instead of points of view.
So I just got another GoPro for that exactly, and I need to get there's just a mechanical HDMI switcher that I need to decide if I'm going to get a bigger boat, Because it'd be cool to have, I mean, 2 people is great, but if I could have 3 people coming out and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of waiting on that. But yeah, same thing. I'm going to put probably one up at the front and just have like a mechanical switch.
Yeah, one of those
right here.
Arno, what do they call it? I don't know. Yeah, one of those. Yeah, the tech guys at Twitch had me order one of them because I was going to outfit the van, and they said, "Oh yeah, you should get one of these because then we'll put molded." And when we got to the camera, like, we don't need this.
It's a lot of learning.
But I have one now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I have one, I think, in the van, actually. Yeah, I do. I have it in the van.
Let's see here. This is where we're going. Let's see how.
Okay, so the bait fish are heading up that way.
Yeah, so they're going to be going in. So right here, I'm not too sure. Let's see how deep it is over here. So the lake level looks like it's dropped about 10 feet. So now I need to offset. So we're going to have to go in through this pocket right here. Because it looks like it gets pretty shallow. We might not even be able to go in through here. Might have to go around this point over here just in case. Just to be safe. Start up at this point.
But now, will the bass go back there, or do the bass hang out for when they come back out?
So they'll go like as it gets, so all the way up until like November, they'll go up there. Then when the water hits like between 55 and 60 degrees, that's when they'll turn around and they'll start moving back out. And then they'll go to deeper water because it's like the water stays a little bit warmer below the surface. So, and then it's the opposite during summer, you know, so. All right, let's see, let's get this, I'll get all this set up. And I got a bunch of rods for you up here.
All right.
Okay, so we got, this is the trolling motor up here.
Yeah.
This stuff.
I saw all the tech and I was like, I think all the tech's for fishing. I don't think any of it's for IRL streaming.
Right. These actually, I think they have HDMI out, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But it's like you need special cables for all that stuff. Okay. I just did a fishing trip down in Alabama, and that was absolutely amazing. Super gorgeous down there.
Oh, so that steers it. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So it's like a full. So this is like a full electronic. It's like a brushless motor.
Right. So if you lean left, it goes left. So you're.
Or what's? So that's left, and that's right. So it's down is right, back is left, and this is just kind of like so you don't.
Right.
You sneak up on the fish. So we got a couple options. I don't know if my camera is going to be in the way. We could both fish up here, or you could fish on the back.
You tell me what you think's best.
Where would you have? Let's start. We'll try you on the back first. We'll see how that goes.
That sounds good.
And then as far as using stuff, I'm trying to think if we start you with something called a whopper plopper.
Whopper popper.
Or a spinner bait. And that's like, okay, so you got the standard spinner bait, which is kind of like just a fishing, let's see here. Do you know how to cast a?
In general, I think.
Okay, cool.
It's been a little while, but.
Yeah, so we got this. And then I have, so this other one, it's called a whopper plopper. And what that is, that's a topwater thing. So that's a lot more fun, but I feel like I don't get as many bites. But you see, there's a visual stimulus that comes with it because it sits on the top of the water. So you see the fish just come up and grab it. But yeah, actually, we'll start with the whopper plopper.
Okay. I was gonna say only because the whopper popper sounds fun, you know.
It is, and it makes this popping noise. Okay, it's this one right here. Actually, here you go. You could pop up right up on the back on the deck over there. You can step on the seat; it's all good. There you go. And then you're always going to want to cast towards the shore. So bass are always going to relate to cover, whether it's rocks or fallen trees or any of that stuff. And then, yeah, you just send it out there. Have you done much fishing in the past?
Not much. Little, but not much. As I said, my son-in-law does a lot. And now, help me refresh my memory now on the casting.
So flip the,
it's been a while. Flip the thing.
Yeah, I'll cast with this. I'll show
Flip
you.
this thing. Yeah, you go ahead and do it again.
So with this, you keep this here.
Yeah.
And then you reel it in so there's about a foot of slack.
Yeah.
And then you put your finger on the line.
Yep.
Flip the bail.
Yep. And then cast it.
And you just send it out there. And then when it hits the water, you just flip the bail back over.
Yep.
And there you go. You flip the bail. And then reel it in. And so with this, you see it on the surface there?
Yeah. Yep.
So you could reel it a little bit fast. So with it, there you go, like that speed right there.
Yeah.
And if you listen, reel a little faster. Hear it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the,
yeah.
That's why it's called the whopper popper.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I got you all this stuff rigged up. If you want to throw anything else.
Well, this is great right now.
Yeah, right? It's kind of just relaxing. That's the other thing. I feel like it's almost like meditative, you know, and there's a sense of...
I don't think it almost is meditative. I think it is meditative.
It's connecting with nature.
Yes. It's funny, I really enjoy, I do a lot with nature, but I am much more in the active, most of the stuff is a very active sport, right? You know, mountain biking or whitewater kayaking or stuff like that.
Throw it out where that fish just jumped.
All right.
Yeah, if you see a blow up like that, so this time of year they're schooled up and you can just throw it directly over the top where you see them go up. But mountain biking...
Didn't they jump back there?
Yeah, it's straight out that way.
Right, mountain biking or whitewater kayaking or stuff like that.
Nature. So you said you grew up in New Orleans?
I did.
How's that?
It's really fun. It's I often say it's a great place to be from. I think it's certainly a place that so much socially centers around drinking.
Yeah.
But the music is spectacular, you know, and there's certain places that it's fun to be from, you know.
Yes, absolutely. I recently discovered kind of like jazz, like John Coltrane.
I did that when I was, let's see, I went through that phase when I was like, 19 to 25 or something like that, where I would listen to all these old jazz things.
Have you been to Lafayette at all?
I have been to Lafayette.
Have you been to the Tabasco factory?
I probably was when I was a kid, but I don't like. I have not since I've been an adult, because my dad said we'd go on trips, and so I suspect when I was like,
Yeah, it's
10,
cool.
I went or something like that. Did you go there recently?
I actually, my girlfriend and I went there not too long ago. We did a trip to New Orleans because she had never been there. And
when did y'all go? What time of the year?
March?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's around March.
Were any of the festivals going on?
No, it was just like a spur, kind of like, I was like, hey, you want to do an impromptu road trip? And we ended up just doing it. And we went to Lafayette and New Orleans.
There's actually a really good, I forget if it's the week, it's like one of the weeks before or after Jazz Fest in Lafayette, when they have their, music festival. And I've never been there, but it's supposed to be wonderful because it's all Zydeco and it's, whoop.
They're out there.
Yeah, I see where it is. In general, I love the Jazz Fest, but it is overwhelming. And there are a bunch of other ones. There's one like in New Orleans a couple weeks before Jazz Fest, and then the one in Lafayette that are great music festivals to go to.
So do you go straight to Twitch? Do you get to go home before TwitchCon, or is that?
I am going home before TwitchCon. Originally, what I originally had thought of doing was, because I have a Sprinter van at home. This is a rental. And I was going to leave from my house, because the whole trip I started because I was going to go to the Americana Music Festival because I love music and I like Americana music, and I've been wanting to go. And so my original idea was to leave from my house and come out here and then make the loop all the way to for TwitchCon. And then I decided especially since there's a lot of work I'm supposed to be doing, I was like, okay, that's like a 2-month trip. My wife will be like, what do you mean you're leaving for 2 months? And just because it's so far out from the west, of course, like getting out here and getting back, I did the math. I was like, nah, I can't do that.
Yeah, it's a pretty big road trip.
Yeah.
And how long are you gone for in total with this trip?
A month.
How much do you have to travel being
So before I became CEO and I was president, I'd travel some, but I didn't travel that much. I've been traveling a fair amount now because I think an important part of what I do is spending time with streamers.
Right.
And so, that's where most of the travel comes from. I live in White Salmon, Washington. I don't know if you know that.
Right.
But I moved there, and so I do go down to San Francisco, which is where our headquarters is, you know, at least once a month. But then I also, there's just stuff going on, so I end up traveling a fair amount. Whether it being, you know, going to some event at VidCon, or I went to the Streamy Awards. And,
How was that?
that was fun. That was fun.
Nice.
Actually, the award show itself, I think, left a lot to be desired. It's kind of funny because, you know, you have all these creators that do all this interesting improvisational stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then they do it just like a poor man's Grammys, right? It's just not, but you know, they just don't, the writing isn't as good.
Right.
I guess it's done by Dick Clark Productions, but the whole show is just the same thing with these, like, they did like this Among Us shtick where like these streamers were dressed up as Moist Critical, and then they were like, they weren't, I don't know who they were that was dressed up, but anyway, and then they were like acting who was going to be, you know, kicked off or whatever, who was the villain, and it was just like, this isn't funny. They did a thing to play off of Mr. Beast where you couldn't leave the circle, and it was just like, what are they thinking?
You ever try the Mr. Beast burgers?
I have not. I want to try one.
Do you know about those?
I do know about those.
So I'm scarred. I did there's this guy, Vigors, who like puts together, or used to put together these World of Warcraft raids. And he made me tank the World of War. Are you familiar with World of Warcraft at all?
Yeah.
So, like, I played WoW back when it first came out, and after, I was like religiously, but then after that, didn't play at all. So, he was trying to set the raid up for failure for content, so they made me the tank.
Okay.
And they would have punishments every time I messed up. And one of them was I had to order a Mr. Beast burger and put it into a blender with the fries
And eat it as
and
a
the
treat. Drink it as a shake.
Yes.
That's a great one.
So I'm scarred. Not a fan.
But before that, had you had a Mr. Beast burger?
I did. It was, it's interesting, right? Like, it's really, like, the concept of it is really cool because it's
Yes.
like a satellite kitchen, right? I believe.
Right.
And it's like, you know, people can do that. So it's, the problem with getting it delivered and delivery is sometimes I'll get like Uber Eats or Grubhub or whatever, and if the person's a smoker and my food smells up, smelling like cigarettes or weed or whatever it is, and then I eat it, I just get like super bummed. And I think that's the issue I had with the first time I had it.
Oh, there's one to the right. I have, like, there's something about a hot burger, and I'm just dubious of a burger, like, in delivery. You know, I usually don't order burgers when I order delivery. You know, I'll order, you know, Chinese food or Thai or something, because there's something, I've always just...
There's a bunch out here.
Yeah.
Guess I know exactly what you're talking about. I know because I ordered Taco Bell the other night and it took an hour and 10 minutes to get my order. Right. And I was not, it was a big old bummer.
Well, and part of it, especially like with a bun, when the burger just sits on a bun and then gets cold, part of it is the interaction of the hot burger, the bun, then it just kind of soaks in, you know?
Yeah. You ever had a steak delivered?
No, I have not. I don't, actually I have had a steak delivered. But it was from a Thai place.
Okay.
Steaks are another one of those, in general, because it's so easy to make a steak. That, like, you know, ordering a steak to be delivered, because usually it costs the same is to make a steak, and it'll taste much better if you just grill it. There's this sauce, Tony Chachery sauce. It's the New Orleans seasoning. Now, hold on, did this thing come off?
Yeah, I think the hook's probably.
Yeah, that's what it is, because they're not doing the popping. But they sell it at like all the grocery stores and all. It's called Tony Chachery sauce. It's from New Orleans. It is a magic sauce for burgers. I mean, for steaks. You just put it on there, and everyone will, then you grill your steak, and everyone will think, "Wow, you're so good at making steaks."
Is it like a dry rub?
Yeah. It's like a salt and pepper alternative.
Yeah, that's good.
But it is. I put it on everything, like chicken but for steaks in particular. And so I'm like, why order steak? I'll just grill it up and it'll be ready beforehand. There's the popper.
There it is.
Except for the, of course, this isn't as good for the interacting with chat, but it's actually a very good IRL stream with us.
Oh yeah, if I go out alone, it's like that's tough. So there's actually another guy in the RP community who's a partner as well, and I always try to snag him when I go out.
Okay.
So there's like dialogue going on. And then when I was in Texas, we did. It was like 4 of us on this boat. It was like 4 of us all in the boat together. It was a lot of fun. That was kind of chaotic, but I feel like that's the other thing is like there's different dynamics to streams, but a chaotic one is always a good one.
Okay, so then I should not. When you do this, you usually don't interact with chat.
No, I try to, but if I'm alone, like I won't interact with chat as much. The other thing is coming from the RP community as well. It's like we're constantly in dialogue too, so it's like I mean, it sounds horrible, but sometimes I'll just straight up ignore my chat if I've got some crazy thing going on.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get this on here. So it's on my wrist. Then I can check them. So how do you get this? You just stretch it.
Yeah, so you stretch. So I do the bottom part first.
Okay.
You can set that rod down, it'll probably be easier.
Yeah. So you get like a corner in.
Exactly.
All right, there. All right, you do a corner by corner. All right.
And then you could twist it too.
Right. All right. I've got chat there. I think this is going to work now. Now I can check chat every now and then.
Yeah, we could.
Oh, I should probably. How's my camera? Let's see. Let's see what my camera looks like. Huh? Camera seems okay. It is very peaceful out here. There we go. Wipe camera. All right, I'll wipe the camera. Good thing I checked chat.
Yes, this is the crazy thing about all the kind of like waterways the waterways out here is they all look so much different from one another.
Yeah.
And they're all so close. Like I think everything's only a half an hour apart. Oops. And yeah. Do you play any video games at all?
I am not a video game player.
Not a big video game guy.
Only because when I was, I'm old enough that they didn't have consoles when I was in college, right, in high school. So then
Right.
you don't grow up playing video games. And then by the time they're out, you know, you have your full-time job and all that. And I think it's hard to get in. It just takes a while to get good. Like I played with my son some. He's 21 now, and it just like I just sucked. You know, I get killed all the time. So it's not as much fun when you're getting like killed all the time. I think they're. But one of the things I enjoyed playing. You know, he went through his GTA phase.
Yeah.
And that was fun because that one I could just like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do whatever. In fact, well, so what are your main characters in GTA?
Oh man.
How much do you vary your character?
The joke is that because there's so in Roleplay you're supposed to be playing this character that you wouldn't necessarily be in real life.
Right.
But I started, like if you ask my chat, they would all say I just have a bunch of the same character and they're all self-inserts, but it's like the one that I enjoyed the most was a corrupt cop that kind of just is kind of an asshole. But yeah, now I play another one who's like a criminal that I've been having a lot of fun with. And he goes by the name of, like his street name is Dickhead. His name is Cockington Webster. And his great-granddaddy was a horse thief. But yeah, I mean, it all changes based on what we're doing.
So one of the things that I want to do, in fact, I talked to Sheriff Strafe about doing this, and I just haven't figured out the stuff. So, you know, when I stream, I play the piano and sing. And I tend to sing like Americana songs, okay, but you know, we have a country component. And so I want to go and join one of the servers as this washed up country artist.
Oh yeah.
That this alcoholic country artist that like now used to be big. Now all I do is sit in the bar and you know, play old songs while I drink.
Said it was Sheriff Strafe?
Huh?
Sheriff Strafe?
I was talking to him about that.
Oh, he does not like me.
He does not like you?
Nope.
Well now, which server do you?
So we played on a server today. This is back in the day. And we had, I can't remember what happened, but it was...
Uh-oh. Got a stick in here.
You got a stick fish?
No.
The first catch of the day?
Yeah. Look at this thing. Look at, oh my gosh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Just make sure it's not on camera. That is huge.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, it got away.
Oh no, you got that stick instead.
Here, can you just grab it?
I got you. So, yeah, we both came from Mixer.
Oh, he came from Mixer?
Yeah, he was on Mixer. I think he was on Facebook as well back in the day. The problem is with me, and I'll be the first to say it, is I can be abrasive and I double down.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's the One of the beautiful things in life. Uh-oh, it looks like the hook's caught again.
Yeah, I know. I've now figured that out.
But
so then but on the servers, there are always going to be folks you don't like, right?
oh yeah.
And so y'all just avoid each other in the world, or y'all may run into each other, but you don't do much together. Is that true, or do y'all end up fucking with each other?
That's the honest to God truth. Is if I feel like somebody doesn't like me,
You like fucking with them?
yeah, because like specifically role play, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is with role play is it's like I need to look at role play. So I think GTA is unique that in the sense that we are a community that interacts with people, like with each other constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is it's like, okay, you're my coworker. This isn't real.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily I don't ever wish ill on anyone. But if somebody has like a problem with me, it's almost like I try to. The other thing with roleplay, the reason people watch it, so it's like I feel like I have to like qualify a little bit, but it's drama. People want conflict and confrontation.
Of course,
I mean,
that's what makes it interesting.
so it's like, it's like there's a chemical reaction in your brain when like you experience drama. It's like why soap operas were so big. It's why drug addicts kind of like a lot of drug addicts when they get sober, they seek drama. So it's like, that being said, if I feel like I could get some conflict or confrontation out of situations, like I'll go for that.
And especially if there's sometimes you have to create artificial confrontation, but if there's some actual confrontation, that then it's coming out in the characters, so be it.
Yes, exactly. So that's kind of like my whole thought process on that. And it's like, again, like outside of the server, it's like, I mean, there's some people inside of the server I've made like really good friends with, but it's like, I don't have any issues with anyone outside of it. But if I feel like somebody has an issue with me, then I kind of like try to push it because.
So if you feel like someone has an issue with you, then you have an issue with them.
Yeah. So
it's kind of human nature.
But yeah, that's.
So you said it like, what is it that makes things go to a lull? You were kind of saying in the role-playing community.
Okay. So yeah. So what ends up happening is it's really difficult to balance a role play world, especially something like GTA, where you have like these amazing devs that come through, and it's like they strip down GTA to its core assets and kind of create their own thing to enable role play to happen.
Mm-hmm. And
what happens is, over time, whether it's economy or certain mechanics being stale or whatever it may be, it's just kind of like there's like this magic that dies and
it plays itself out. Meaning they create the environment, and then there's some magic that ensues. But one way to think of it is, like, it's this virtual. You create the shell of the virtual world, which really does create part of the narrative. But eventually, you've explored so much with the characters, and then now you already have a huge amount of variance. But you've still explored so much that it isn't as new, because it's just like a TV show.
Exactly.
A TV show, by the 10th season, no matter how good the writers are, it's like there's this world that they've explored, and after 10 seasons, there's not necessarily as much to explore in the world.
Exactly.
And so then somebody needs to create a new server that has a new base, a new, something that. Is that what, basically, when you say, then something happens?
Yeah, so there's I think that's one. It's a really complex issue, right? I think that's definitely a factor. God, I'm trying to relate it to the seasons and
Well,
stuff.
do this.
Because
Give me an example of like the thing before and then when it came, like just ground it for me in an example of what was different. Like I assume New Pixel was one of the things that started that was different.
Yes, exactly. So that's, I mean, you've had servers before NoPixel that were, so it's like there's one called TFRP. There was like Twitch RP. So this has been, I mean, Roleplay I think has been going on Twitch
Ages.
for
Yeah.
close to a decade now. But what happens is it's obviously it's always the same world, but then you have fresh minds or devs.
Like what was different about, what's different about NoPixel versus
So
one that came before?
So I think, and this is my opinion. So I actually came into Roleplay and knew nothing about it, and I experienced it all fresh and new. But one of the things with NoPixel is, compared to the other servers, is the devs made this magic thing that made it feel like it was basically the mechanics that they introduced or the code they introduced onto the server all had purposes of, like, instead of like, hey, let's just rob a bank, like there were these things that made it so you could build a story based off of those mechanics.
Okay.
And the support, I mean, obviously the community, I would say the community is probably the biggest aspect, like the actual people on the server, right, along with the Twitch community.
Right.
But there's also a side to it where there's an in-game economy as well, right? So people have jobs, and it's like, you know, somebody owns a casino, and there's like a police force, and you know, there's EMS and a hospital and everything that comes along with it. So right now we're at a point on NoPixel where the economy is at this point where everyone's a millionaire. It's kind of, it's stale, and it's like, you know, they're introducing a new server. There's one that just launched called Prodigy that's been doing well. There's another one called Onyx that's coming up, which like it'll be interesting to see what happens with like all these servers popping up. But I think one of the things that, God, how do I? One of the things with Roleplay is I like a server like that, at least when I joined, the thing that made it appealing was you had this police force that were not only, like, they knew. So I guess what I'm trying to say, from in my opinion, is I think the police force dictates how good the roleplay flows.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have somebody who not only knows how to roleplay well, but also knows like the ins and outs of their job, it creates this this sense of immersion, whether you're on the cop side or the criminal side. And the reality is, with roleplay the way it is now, is you have like your slow burn, and then you kind of have your like action-packed stuff.
Yeah.
And in order for everything to exist harmoniously, I think that like that is a huge factor. And I don't know, you know, there's so many different factors, but
yep,
that's definitely a big one. But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting community, you know?
Yeah. Are these private houses?
No, so this is, you mean like the lake
docks.
levels just dropped so much,
yeah,
that is, we were originally going to come in there, but then I was like, we might not clear it, which thank God we didn't.
But like these docks, they're private docks.
Oh, are these private docks?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these are all private docks.
Yeah, oh. I think there's some big raid on my channel. Cow raid. Welcome all. Well, one of the things that on this trip, most of what I'm doing is I'm having like dinners and other things with streamers, right? And so usually those are, you know, just a group of 6 of us having a dinner, which is really nice and really fun. But it's not live streaming it. It's just
Right.
And you know, for many of them, they really like being able to ask me questions, and you know, or I go one-on-one, or you know, a couple 3, and I think at some point it like this is really great, and I'd love to. I was thinking doing it where I don't really do dinners. It's just everything are IRL streams.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, because then.
Experiencing something new and good about getting streamers out of the house.
Yeah, because there are, I mean, the thing that I was thinking, if I had the time, it would be a blast to do, like, I just go across America and I do IRL streamers with streamers, right? And because the streamers are just freaking everywhere, you know. Now, we don't always have a way to, because we don't know where they all live, right? We don't know. Like the managed partners, we have a sense of, oh yeah, they're in this area, right? But once, you know, we get out of the managed partners, we often don't know, and then affiliates, we have no idea, right? We can obviously look at IP address or something like that, but we don't have contact information, right? But doing something where literally I just went across America, and every day I had to do an IRL streamer. I had to find a streamer to do an IRL stream with before I could, like, I can't go a day without that, so then I have to, like, you know, manage it, like, how do you get across Wyoming? Okay, well, I've got to find some streamer that is in, you know, pick out the place in Wyoming that, you know, because I've got like 12 hours of driving, and then, of course, in every region, you have to find the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Charlotte over here, it's only 2 feet here. Oh, look at this. This is an old, it's like an old road bed.
Yeah, it does. And if I did that with Starlink, then, you know, that wouldn't work for this. But
right.
Actually, no, Starlink would work for, actually.
So, I know.
Starlink has 2 things. They have one that you can, like, put on, like, your van or something.
Right.
And that has, like, manageable bandwidth. Then they have a completely portable one. The thing I don't know is if their completely portable one has good enough bandwidth to stream from or not. And that one actually isn't the one that's real expensive is the one you put on your van. It's like $2,500. But the other one, you know, it's like $600 or something like that.
Is that like a month?
No, that's to get the device.
Oh, just to get the device?
And then it's like each month, but you can activate and deactivate per month because it's designed like for people that they travel for a month and then they're not traveling, so they deactivate it. So you only have to pay when you're using it, right? And it's, you know, I think it's like $150 a month for the month you're using it. I actually have this new thing that one of the Twitch techs set up for me called Peplink, which, you know, so live view.
Like PepW?
P-E-P-L-I-N-K.
Okay.
So you know how live view bonds the different modems, right? But it bonds the different modems, which doesn't give you increased bandwidth, right? Are you aware of that?
Right, yes.
That all it is it picks whichever one of them is the most resilient. So this Peplink creates a tunnel where it combines the cellular devices and supposedly gives you increased bandwidth because it makes a joint tunnel.
I actually didn't know that. I thought LiveView bonded them together. So LiveView only picks the...
It picks the one that is, that's my understanding, it picks the one that is stable, so it basically handles the fact that they tend to drop in and out. That's just the nature of cellular.
Right.
So that way, when one drops out, another one probably is okay, and so then it keeps a steady stream. But it doesn't increase the bandwidth. It's an or, not an and. And the other thing, I have this in the van. The other thing that it does is you can set up a Wi-Fi network using it. Right. In other words, with LiveView, one of the things, you can't set up a Wi-Fi network.
Right.
That is your LiveView. You just have to wire it in, right? So like right now you're wired into your LiveView, right? As opposed to using it as a Wi-Fi source.
Yeah, if you ever wanted to get started on any of the on the Roleplay servers,
yeah, I'd love to at some point.
Yeah, I could.
I'll definitely. I have to I was thinking of, because I was searching online and it claimed GTA can run on a Mac laptop. Do you have any evidence that's actually true?
Is it the old one or the new ones?
New one.
I don't. So the M2 chips are. I think you have to run either parallels or you have to bottle it.
Yeah, I was dubious that it was.
But the thing about the thing about Roleplay is it uses like a satellite version of the game called 5M.
Okay.
Which I don't know if that would be compatible with the M2 chips.
Okay. So when you say a satellite version of the game, what does that mean?
Well, like you need to run it a majority of the game, I think a lot of games are written for Intel chips.
Yep.
And that's the thing, Matt came out with the M2 chip, which I think is supposed to be absolutely insane, but they're just not, the code isn't, and I could be wrong, I don't know. I've only done like a little bit of research, but I think a lot of games just aren't compatible with the M2 chip, and you have to get like you have to install like Windows Parallel.
Yeah, I do think you do have to install Windows. You have to, or you have to do a Windows emulation.
But even with Windows emulation, I know that some games still don't run on.
Right. I have a PC at home. I was just thinking on this trip. I was thinking it would be fun to set it up.
What was that?
Originally I was thinking, oh, it'd be fun to set up GTA so I could play it. I could do the role playing on this trip.
Yeah, Roleplay. It's definitely a lot of fun. The whole theater nerds aspect of it. Yeah, that's a lot of fun because the cool thing with Roleplay, while there are certain things that you don't have to be mechanically good at a video game to roleplay, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's why I was thinking it's a perfect fit. All right, so in your previous life, you were a DJ.
Yeah, I did that. I did music production and.
Oh, you also did music production.
I did. I did that.
And when you did music production, EDM or?
Yeah, I was EDM. Well, so I started in my early 20s as a roadie.
Okay.
And then, when I got sober, I kind of was like, I can't.
So you were a roadie That was your job when you were still using.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was great. It was great when I was using, you know,
Yeah.
being on the road and just, but yeah, then I ended up coming home, getting my cosmetology license.
Okay.
And then after that, I was like, man, I miss playing music. I miss just being a part of the music
And
scene.
now, do you also play?
I do.
What do you play?
Guitar.
Okay.
So I actually didn't start playing guitar till I was like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that. And I've always been like a computer nerd.
Yep.
And then when the like whole EDM thing started picking up, like I jumped into that. And
now, when I think of EDM, I don't think the guitar being an integral part. Is that just me being naive?
so it's funny. There's Fishman used to make this. They used to make a pickup that you could put on your guitar, and it would convert it to a MIDI controller.
Ah. So
So
then
it
you'd
was like-
use your guitar as a MIDI controller.
So so that's actually how I started. And then eventually what I did is I didn't even use any instruments. I would just pencil in all the notes
Mm-hmm.
and just do it kind of like through that. But yeah, I did that. Had like a release on, actually had a few releases on pretty big labels at the
Oh,
time.
really?
Like Mad Decent, and did like official remixes for like these dudes named like Dylan Francis. And then I did one for Nightmare and another one called Jaws, and they were all pretty big in the scene. They were like the biggest in the scene at the time.
Right.
And yeah, I actually I was doing music production on Twitch. It was like PUBG and music production.
Oh, really?
The hard thing with music production on Twitch though is I think the production side is cool when you're actually creating and you actually have something, but a lot of times I'm literally I would be sitting and listening to a kick drum for 6 hours,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I don't.
Meaning, in the early stages when you're doing it, it's still so raw and formative
Yeah.
that like it's not as interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I suspect it seems like that is probable because in EDM, you use the word music production,
Right.
but it's actually as much composing as producing. Whereas if you're in a, more traditional music, right? Do I have that right? I mean,
Yes,
more
yes.
traditional music, you do the composition, you've written your song, and now you're getting into laying down tracks. And it still can be slow, but you're mixing your tracks. But in EDM, you're writing the stuff while you're mixing, right?
Yeah, it's like full on. I mean, yeah, so it's like, exactly. I mean, there's composition, there's the mixing.
Right.
Do I have one?
Now, however, it seems like it depends upon how you are, because it seems like for some EDM, the production, some people, it's just an inherently improvisational thing. You got some?
I do.
Oh, hold on.
Look at that.
Oh, look at that baby.
It's a decent one.
Damn.
Okay, that means we're gonna get you switched up.
Let me get a picture. Hold on. I think I have this on. There it is. There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there she goes.
Yeah. All right.
All right, we're gonna get you switched then to,
You're going to switch me to one of those?
this guy right here.
All right.
And then here you go. So you're just gonna throw this up towards the rocks.
All right.
And then it's like on the retrieval. Like you'll just get
Hold
it
on
up.
1 sec. Let me get this.
So for this, you'll just, it's like the same thing. You just get it out there, and there's a weight on the end of there.
Yeah.
And you let it sink, and you'll just kind of like feel it bump against the rocks and stuff.
So you kind of feel it slowly going along the ground.
Yeah. Here you go.
It's funny, you're in two areas where there's always more gear to get.
What is that?
You're in two areas where there's always more gear to get. Fishing,
it's crazy.
there's always gear you can get. And live streaming, and especially IRL live streaming, there's always gear you can get.
So you play music too, right? I've seen on your stream you have like your keyboard set up. So do you play more than piano or?
No, I play piano and sing. I started teaching myself guitar a few times, but I've never stuck with it enough.
Did you grow up playing piano?
I taught myself in high school, so I didn't, I wasn't one of these people whose parents made them, take lessons. In high school, I started playing, and basically learned. I could play melody, but I mostly learned by getting good at playing chords, and then I can play most songs because I just play the chords and then improvise. Ooh.
A smaller one, but.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We'll take it.
By the way, this cord's getting a little tangled. I don't know if...
Oh, it's tangled?
I mean, it's fine. It's just, yes. It's like, I don't know if that matters going
it
forward.
should be fine.
It's not like I can't. It's not a problem. I just want to make sure it's not becoming more of a problem.
Little one?
Nice.
Oh. Oof. They're feisty. They are feisty.
They don't like to be caught. Go figure that.
Yeah, right?
You know?
This is Douglas, Tennessee. You know what we can do? I'm gonna move your stuff really quick.
All right.
And let me get in here. Oops.
What's that? Oh, more
Oops,
of these.
knocked over here. And then let me make sure. How's that? When you bring that up, I'm going to swap it out for this one, which is what I've been catching them on. It seems like the closer you could get to the bank, the better.
That's what I figured.
And then let me see that bad boy really quick. Yeah, the world of baits. And so in Japan, bass fishing is huge. I think they were introduced over there during World War II.
Oh.
I could be wrong, but the thing about Japan, since everything's very compact, is a lot of people fish from the bank. Since there's not like not many people own boats.
Yeah.
So the kind of like the craftsmanship and the, all right, you're good to go. Not the technology, but the creation of their lures are like so cool. And the, that's the one. Do you feel it hitting the rocks at all?
A little bit.
Okay, perfect. Hmm.
The hitting the rocks is just really, you feel the resistance, right?
Yeah, it's just like a...
It's like variable resistance.
Exactly.
Basically. Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that I'm catching up that they're as shallow as they are right now. Yeah, the water temperature out here is 79 degrees too. Yeah, it's like my favorite part of the year is fall, when the water is warmer than the air and there's just this thin layer of fog. I should say a thick layer of fog, just on the surface of the water.
Yeah. Now, were you living in Austin when I was there, or were you just visiting?
Yeah, so I went out there. I went out to Austin I went out there at the beginning of the year just to go visit kind of like people in the Twitch community.
Yep.
And I had a lot of fun. And while I was at the airport,
And you were living here.
Yeah, I was living here. I ended up getting doxxed. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do. So I ended up packing, leaving my stuff out here in storage.
But you were doxxed here.
I was doxxed here. So then I actually moved out to Austin. Just because, it's like a big city like Austin. It's like, you know, if I tried to explain like swatting and like doxing to the Knoxville Police Department, and they weren't
getting it.
Yeah, they just didn't understand. And I was like, okay, well, I need to keep myself, like, obviously my safety is the most important thing, but yeah, I ended up going out there.
So you got doxxed, but you didn't get swatted.
No, I didn't get swatted.
And
I
did
did have
anyone
somebody
come
show
by
up
your house?
I had somebody show up to my house at like 2 in the morning.
And when you were doxxed, were you worried about being swatted, or were you worried about what someone would do?
So not necessarily about what someone would do. It's like, but the swatting thing was kind of like concerning, and more so it's like I have like a small dog. I have like a French bulldog, and it's like okay, I understand. I mean, there are dangers, but it's like just to make sure that my pup is safe was the most important thing. So,
meaning with the doxing.
Yeah.
Meaning would somebody do something creepy? Yeah.
So.
Well, and for you, I suspect in terms of the swatting, since, you never know, you can look a certain way. And so if someone swatted you, then it's very different than if they swatted me.
Yes.
The way the cops would react.
So yeah, so now it's kind of like from.
So for a while you moved to Austin because you were like, okay, I don't know if this is going to work. And then you said,
yeah,
I'll come back.
Exactly. So I have it's like a fellow partner out there who just got a house and he set up a room out there for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to try to split my time. It's been crazy this year, but like next year I'm going to try to going back to splitting my time between the two places.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's important, like, at least for me, it's to be a part of like
actual community of streamers.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the plan. I think we're going to go out next month. It's been Halloween out there.
Now, who in the Austin crew do you hang out with?
I mean, that's the cool thing is there's Kyle, Penta, which Penta came to the dinner. There's Byrne, who also came to the dinner. Sear, which I only got to hang out with Sear once, but he was like I always enjoyed hanging out with him on the RP server.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have other people like there's this guy who's not a partner and refuses to stream, even though I think he could do really well, and his name's Kermodo.
Mm-hmm.
Moose Brother. I mean, there's a ton of people out there.
Yeah, there are. There's so many. Austin is a little overwhelming now.
Yeah, it just feels like it's like, you ever seen those memes that say, "Hey mom, can we have this? Can we have a Kit Kat bar?" And she's like, "Oh, we have a Kit Kat bar at home." And then it's like the store brand or whatever. It's like I relate that. It's like, "Hey mom, can we have LA?" And then it's like, "We have LA at home." And it's like Diet Los Angeles.
Yes.
Which isn't that bad. I mean, it's kind of cool.
Actually, it's very cool if like you're like, oh, Los Angeles is so much, and then you got Austin, and it's perfect. Right?
Yeah.
But as you compare it to here,
So the reason I really like it here is the honest God truth is like all the access to the water. It's like, so from downtown Knoxville, this is half an hour away. I think there's 5 lakes this size within a half an hour drive from where I'm at. And then in Austin, it's like you have Lake Austin, which is always packed. It's like Lake Travis, which is always packed. But it's not bad. The fishing in Texas is really good. I would say it's actually.
Now, I assume if you go up to like LBJ or something like that, then it's not as packed?
I don't, I haven't been there, but I think that I think that's like, I'm not too sure how far that is out of Austin. So I stayed there during the
Hold
ice.
on, I think I'm caught on something.
I'll get up there. I stayed there during like that freeze last year.
Oh, it got loose.
And I only got to go to like Lake Travis and Lake Austin.
Yeah.
But
The
food in Austin's really good. That's the thing. That's what I miss. Like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, the food is great in Austin. And so music, you said you're starting to get into Coltrane, but are you still mostly listening to EDM or?
Oh, I don't listen to any EDM anymore.
Okay.
No, it varies, to be 100% honest. So like if I'm streaming, especially in the like role play kind of like in the role play category. Like I try to find music that fits the character I'm playing without any vocals on it.
Uh-huh.
Just because I feel like it distracts me.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, it's just like I'll play like that kind of like 40s jazz, like John Coltrane and God, I'm trying to think who else. I'm drawing a blank right now. But there was that whole, I can actually pull it up. And then I started listening to a lot of old Western movie soundtracks.
Oh.
The spaghetti Western stuff.
Yep.
What's his name? Enrico.
Enrico. Oh, I don't.
You know who I'm talking about? He did like, yeah. So
exactly.
that's been a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm still like I absolutely love music and listening to like discovering new stuff, even if it's new and old stuff, I should say.
Yeah.
I gotta get you a fish.
If you focus on needing to get the fish, that's when you know the fish won't come.
Yeah, right?
I always say a big part of success is just truly learning to accept defeat, because then you don't worry about failing.
That is absolutely true.
When I was learning to whitewater kayak, I always was trying to avoid not to flip over, right? Now, one reason I was trying to avoid not to flip over, and it wasn't in anything that was dangerous, was because I was worried I might not hit my roll. Because in whitewater, you flip over and you roll. And I was worried, oh, I might not hit my roll. And I wasn't worried about not hitting my roll because I might get hurt. I was worried because I would be like mad at myself for not hitting my roll.
Right.
Because it was failure, right? It's like, what, you didn't hit your roll, what are you, right? And so then I would really work to try and make sure I didn't flip over, which of course that means I wasn't rolling that much.
Right,
because
right.
I was trying to avoid flipping over. My son, in contrast, because he started learning at the same time, he just started like doing stern squirts and other things, and he got a lot better, a lot faster, you know, because he wasn't worried about that. And at some point, I decided every time I go out, I have to roll 10 times. And if I don't do it because I flip, then I'm just going to have to do it on my own, right?
Right.
And then I started getting better at my roll because I was just doing it all the time. And it was that kind of, the fear of failure, not out of like, oh no, I'm going to get hurt. It was just, I will feel like I failed.
Did you end up hurting yourself on the kayak at one point
I did.
too?
I was outside of Yosemite, and I was bringing some kids two sons of a good friend of mine, kayaking for the first time. They were in inflatable kayaks. They were having a good time, and then I turned back to look at them, and it was in this rocky